I know better than most what it resembles to disengage yourself from the outside world, to live inside your own head for quite a long time, weeks, and even a very long time at once. I spent the better piece of 10 years carrying on with the existence that a large number of Americans are presently restlessly attempting to escape after only a couple of brief months. I endured, and still do, from a serious type of over-the-top urgent issue. People like me frequently allude to it as pollution OCD, a kind of OCD that forces you to do all that you can to abstain from uncovering yourself, yet in addition your loved ones, to germs, infections, and microbes. One approach to do this is to disconnect yourself from the outside world however much as could be expected. That is decisively what I did, and it almost crushed me. Individuals are exceptionally versatile, yet there are times when that can neutralize us. I made sense of that about a year or so into my willful isolate, which was directly around the time that I started subbing envisioned associations with envisioned individuals for genuine collaborations with genuine individuals. You may call it staring off into space. I called it a versatile reaction. I would walk about my condo for a considerable length of time, discussing non-existent anchor people, scholastics, and political opponents on a variety of subjects extending from the connection among skepticism and agnosticism to whether the Philadelphia Eagles should keep Nick Foles or Carson Wentz as their beginning quarterback. I wasn't silly or daydreaming, nor was I floating consistently nearer to the edge of madness. I was simply attempting to feel invigorated and associated with humankind, similar to I was as yet a member in the public eye instead of an eyewitness of it. Obviously, I despite everything needed to go to work, the market, and different spots, yet I downplayed my communications with individuals. At work, I had only two basic, clear destinations: traverse the day without tainting anybody, at that point return home and disinfect myself with a hot shower. To achieve this, I wore gloves as regularly as could be expected under the circumstances, would not warmly greet collaborators and outsiders the same, and conveyed a jug of hand sanitizer wherever I went. I did everything humanly conceivable to dispense with physical contact with others, however, with any item that another person had just contacted or would need to contact sooner rather than later, for example, door handles and light switches. I had transformed into a poor man's Howard Hughes, less the specialized brightness, name acknowledgement, and interminable riches that made him a notorious figure. I additionally never got the opportunity to date Katharine Hepburn, Betty Davis, or, okay, so perhaps I wasn't Howard Hughes. Whatever. You get the point. The one thing I had going for me was that my activity didn't expect me to associate with a lot of individuals for the duration of the day. Truth be told, on most days, I invested more energy driving than I did working. Furthermore, I didn't worry about it the slightest bit. There was something strangely ameliorating about the lengthy drives from my office to the numerous new towns and neighborhoods I was sent to investigate. Inside that vehicle, I was protected. Inside that vehicle, I could travel through the world, be a piece of the world, and associate with the world without having to really devote myself completely to it and hazard tainting either myself or another person. And all that vehicle at any point requested in kind was a full tank of gas and the periodic oil change. It was an advantageous course of action, yet one that I naturally comprehended was very unfortunate. At the point when I wasn't working, I was at home cleaning ledgers, wiping floors, and sanitizing sinks, toilets, and baths. I cordoned off 2 rooms, my office and room, and pronounced them without germ zones. This implied I was unable to bring any food or drink into those zones, and that I needed to scrub down before I could go inside them. When I ventured outside of either zone, I viewed myself as defiled, which implied that I would need to scrub down before I could return it. As my OCD turned out to be more regrettable, the days transformed into weeks, and the weeks into months, until everything merged together into one mammoth, nebulous group of commonplace occasions. By then, I was simply making a cursory effort. On the off chance that on some random day you had asked me what I had done the day preceding, I could have perhaps sorted out something near a rational answer. In any case, an itemized, ordered record of 24 straight long periods of semi-cognizant movement. I was unable to do it. There were never enough important minutes to recollect. That is the thing that occurs during significant stretches of disconnection. You lose all feeling of time and bearing. You don't generally feel like you're going anyplace. You're existing, yet not so much living. You're completing things, however you're not so much achieving anything. A long time later, in the wake of gaining a decent arrangement of ground in my fight against my OCD, I was all set retreat and begin carrying on with my life once more. Family grills, picnics, and occasion parties, poker evenings with the bunch of companions who stayed with me during my numerous long periods of confinement, once-a-year visits to my uncle's home in Boca Raton, it was all on the table once more. However, whenever the chance to begin carrying on with that life at long last showed up, it slipped directly through my fingers. I had become so used to being separated from everyone else that I had overlooked how to work around others. That is the point at which I understood exactly how mentally and genuinely harming my seclusion had been. After a lot more long periods of treatment, reflection, and exercises learned through experimentation, my life is about as near typical as it has been in longer than 10 years. Yet, when I think back on the time I spent living like a loner, pursuing an unwinnable war against a ghost adversary, what shocks me more than anything else is the means by which effectively I was hoodwinked by my OCD into accepting that the damage I was delivering upon myself was significantly less genuine than it truly was. Each part of my life, my physical, enthusiastic, and mental well-being, my associations with companions, family members, and collaborators, my vocation, my accounts, endured tremendous harm, and I've been working my rear end off to fix as quite a bit of it as possible. I'm not offering my story to you with expectations of winning your compassion. Unexpectedly, I would pleasantly ask that you give your compassion to somebody more meriting than me. In all actuality, as terrible as things were for me, I'm staggeringly fortunate to at present be alive, not to mention despite everything have work, a rooftop over my head, and a loved ones upon whom I can depend. Numerous other people who experience the ill effects of extraordinary OCD are not close to as lucky. The explanation I'm offering my story to you is on the grounds that I need you to realize that I get it. I comprehend why you need to revive America. Furthermore, generally, I concur with you. I don't need you to get settled with detachment. I'm personally acquainted with the sort of agony and hopelessness it brings. People aren't intended to live in isolation. Furthermore, on the off chance that I needed to pick between returning to that life or taking my risks with this infection, I'd pick the infection multiple times out of 10, decisively. On the off chance that self-confinement turns into the new ordinary in America, it'll be in any event as ruinous as COVID-19 has just been. In certain pieces of the nation, that devastation has just started to uncover itself. In New York, a risky uptick in abusive behavior at home prompted the formation of another team devoted only to tending to the issue. In Walnut Creek, California, one specialist at John Muir Medical Center as of late told neighborhood news station ABC7 Eyewitness News that his office had seen a year of self-destruction endeavors over the most recent a month, and emotional wellness specialists have communicated worries that the circumstance could turn out to be a lot of more awful if open authorities don't bounce on it soon. Long-haul lockdowns simply aren't maintainable. I realize that, thus do you. Also, I feel that where it counts inside, even the most passionate protectors of these lockdowns know about it, as well. In any case, to keep away from another arrangement of lockdowns, we will need to make each sensible stride we can to forestall another significant flare-up of COVID-19. Furthermore, one of the most straightforward, least oppressive advances any individual can take is to put on a cover. A few people might want to accept that declining to wear a cover is enthusiastic. Try not to hear them out. On the off chance that anything, declining to wear a cover during a pandemic is the direct opposite of enthusiasm. Loyalists don't avoid making exceptionally minor penances to help out protect the well-being and prosperity of their individual kinsmen during an emergency, nor do they gripe about the unimportant distress that wearing a veil produces. What's more, they unquestionably don't circumvent compromising or attacking laborers at stores that expect clients to wear veils. Nationalists are superior to that, more grounded than that, and more caring than that. Some others might want you to accept that wearing a veil has no effect at all, yet the proof says they're very likely off base. An ongoing meta-investigation from Oregon Health and Science University shows that wearing a veil inside might decrease coronavirus transmission rates by as much as 80%. Another ongoing examination out of the University of Hong Kong shows that careful covers can decrease the pace of airborne COVID-19 transmission by up to 75%. It's likewise important that in a large number of the Asian countries that have encountered the most accomplishment in the battle against COVID-19, wearing covers in broad daylight spaces is a typical practice. One general well-being official in Taiwan, where only 7 individuals have passed on from the infection, has even estimated that face veils could cut transmission rates right down to around 1 to 2%, yet just if both solid and tainted individuals are wearing covers, at the point when you get directly down to it, except if you have an authentic ailment that makes it ill-advised for you to put on a cover, there is no rhyme or reason not to wear one. Declining to put one on doesn't make you brave or enthusiastic. Everything it does is increment the odds that there will be a second rush of COVID-19, which thusly will probably prompt a second influx of lockdowns. On the off chance that you don't need that to occur, if, similar to me, you need to do whatever you can to forestall the phenomenal physical, mental, passionate, and monetary damage that another round of long-haul disconnection will undoubtedly perpetrate upon the residents of this nation, kindly do what you know in your heart is the keen activity, the best activity, and the enthusiastic activity. If it's not too much trouble, begin wearing a cover.